Shavua Tov, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where you get your headlines making the news in Israel every Monday to Thursday. And as always, we brought to you compliments of Lay of the Land. Before we get into the headlines, I just want to pay tribute to the 3,000 plus souls who were brutally murdered on September the 11th, 2001. We will never forget that day. We will always remember the civilians, the air crews, the pilots, the first responders, and everybody who was murdered by Al-Qaeda terrorists. We will never forget them. And we think of their families and their loved ones who have been so greatly impacted. As late Queen Elizabeth II once said, grief is the price we pay for love. May their memories be eternally blessed. An earthquake measuring at least 6.8 on the Richter scale struck south of the city of Marrakesh in Morocco over the weekend. The death toll on last count was about 2,500. Now, the earthquake struck and destroyed many buildings, some of them minarets from mosques, and also caused great damage to the Jewish quarter just south of Marrakesh. Israel reacted to the earthquake immediately, offering aid in terms of search and rescue personnel and humanitarian aid. Now, we are still on standby. Morocco has only given permission to 4 countries to come in with aid. They are Qatar, Spain, France, and the United Kingdom. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant asked his troops to be ready should the call arise. However, we have sent teams from Israel Aid who are on the ground, as well as United Hatzalah, who sent a team to assess the damage and have been joined on the ground by a much larger team. Israel's Ministry of Defense have said that they have sent more personnel from their consular services to assist any Israelis who are stranded. 479 Israelis were successfully evacuated. President Isaac Herzog and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as Foreign Minister Eli Cohen and various other members of the government, expressed their concern and their condolences. And we remain on standby for any help that we can assist. Israel and Morocco are brothers through the Abraham Accords, and Israel has said that in their darkest time of need, we will be there. We will answer the call as needed. Meanwhile, the cities of Beersheba, Ashdod, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv have paid tribute to the victims and have stood in solidarity. Over 1 million Israelis can trace their roots back to Morocco. Now, we've been speaking quite a bit about normalization or potential normalization with the Saudis. And yesterday, an extraordinary event, absolutely historical. An Israeli official delegation has landed in Riyadh to attend the UNESCO Heritage Convention. This is the first time that an official government delegation from Israel is attending an event in Saudi Arabia. Earlier today, National Security Advisor Tzachi Hanegbi announced at the IDC Counter-Terror Conference that Israel was talking to the Palestinians and is prepared to make some concessions in exchange for Saudi normalization. The National Security Advisor, however, did caution the Palestinians not to take any action against Israeli soldiers at any legal forum, otherwise we will cut off ties completely. And is a war of words brewing as usual between National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir and our Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The National Security Minister has said that he will push on with plans to impose harsher restriction on prisoners, despite Prime Minister Netanyahu telling him not to. The Prime Minister said that this is the decision of the Cabinet and of the Prime Minister, and that he concurs with our security forces who have advised the National Security Minister against doing so. The IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi has also cautioned Ben-Gvir, saying that the priority should be on protecting Israeli civilians against acts of terror and not imposing further restrictions on prisoners. And finally, like him or loathe him, and despite all that is said about him, one thing we do have to salute Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, for is his Invictus Games. This is the first year that Team Israel is competing. We have a delegation of 20 athletes from the Tzahal Disabled Veterans Organization. Ranging in ages from 24 to 68, they will be competing in at least 10 different events, including archery, swimming, hand cycling, and various other events. We salute our veterans, and no matter what we may all think of Prince Harry, and despite all that is written about him, we certainly are proud of the Invictus Games, and we stand fully behind Team Israel. So that's it for today's edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget to visit our website at www.layoftheland.online. Confused about these judicial reforms or overhauls? We've got a lot of content from a lot of different sources up there that can explain everything to you. You can also check out our content on Facebook at Lottle Site. If you haven't already liked us, joined us, followed us, shared us, please do so. Our YouTube channel, as always, is at the Israel Brief. Please click on the red subscribe button if you like our content, and we sincerely hope that you do. And we're on X at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, and I'll see you again tomorrow.